The second piece is as you look at your box, the sandbox you're in, the good news is the world is changing. And because the world is changing, you will have to relook at your strategy. You will have to change your strategy because your competitors are changing. The landscape is changing. And so you have to change. So what our advice is use the trends whether China and India are going to be consuming for the next 10 years. Use the trend that baby boomers in the US are going to be retiring, and about $1 to $2 trillion is going to come out of the pension funds. And they're going to invest this money in Mexico, maybe up in Salvador or somewhere else. No money is coming out over there. Recognize the fact that people are getting fat. Obesity is a trend. What can we do about that? There's a lot of trends going on. Observe the trend. We don't like to die. We want to live longer, healthier, better. Lots of trends out there. Use those macro trends to see how they will impact your business, and use them in the dialogue in your staff meetings on what you can do around that. Second one is your customers are also changing. I don't know how many of you are watching your kids. We are part of the email culture. We use email to communicate everything nowadays. Your kids are using Facebook or Orkut. They only put a little message on the Facebook saying, I'm going to be at this movie, and 30 of their friends know where they're going to be. Email is on its way to change into another way of communicating. Customers are changing, consumers are changing, and they will force you to change anyway. So listen to the consumers, listen to their insights, and use them for you to say, we got to do things differently. If you don't do anything, don't worry, your competitors will. They will, and you'll have to follow them. So you can wait for them to move, or you can follow them. Usually following somebody is not a good way to do it. And the last one is, of course, as you do something, you get capabilities built in your company. Braskem, as they figured out how to make polyolefins and polypropylenes, realized they needed fuels and other stocks to actually make the polymers. Along the way, they started thinking about ethanol and ethanol production. And they moved from plastics into now cane sugar. They learned how to do some things internally to be able to move across into another business area. These trends are your advantage. You don't have to argue about it. Your company will be faced with it. Use them. Use the trends to move you forward. And I'm going to give you one more insight. Many of you may say, but trends are not real. I don't know how to quantify them. I don't know how to make it actionable. In innovation, we have a theory called the 40-70 rule. 40-70 rule doesn't add up to 100. This creates discomfort. The 40-70 rule says that when you have 40% of the data to make a decision, you should start thinking about making a decision. If you wait for 70% of the data, 70% of the data is too late because everybody else has the same data. And then you are only doing incremental innovation. This is the power of innovation. You have to respect the ambiguity and the uncertainty, and therein lies the opportunity. If you wait for all the facts, everybody else has the facts. It doesn't give you a competitive advantage. Trends are very powerful for you to shift into that and make investments a little bit earlier than others.